Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube.com. It is a good old MF Michael Fletcher, alongside anything the Hitman Florio, and the Twisted Angel Dee Woodson. Oh my goodness, what a cap off to WrestleMania week. Smackdown Live one more time from the Smoothie King Arena in New Orleans, Louisiana, to wrap up the WrestleMania 34 festivities. And now we are on our way to the Superstar Shakeup. Monday Night Raw next week from the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut, and Tuesday Night SmackDown Live from the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence, Rhode Island. Ladies and gentlemen, what a night it was. And let's just dive right in. First off, it started with Shane McMahon, and he dropped a couple of major notes. Number one, Daniel Bryan is now officially a full-time WWE superstar, and in that capacity, he tendered his resignation as SmackDown general manager. So Shane McMahon had a choice. Who was he going to name the new GM of SmackDown? Now, there was a number of candidates that, we were thinking about IWC-wise, through dirt sheets, the whole 9 yards. Some names that were getting tossed around: Hulk Hogan, Jeff Jarrett. There was one that was saying maybe even Dixie Carter, the former lead of TNA. There was even talk about possibly Nikki Bella being the new general manager of SmackDown Live. Well, it was none of the above. This one was definitely a shocker, but let me tell you, based on all the reaction from social media, this was a great decision. SmackDown Live hits a home run as they name the raven hair beauty from Norwich, England. Paige is the new general manager of SmackDown Live, and she jumps right at Jump Street and makes a phenomenal main event, a once-in-a-lifetime, a dream main event, worthiness of a WrestleMania main event. Daniel Bryan one-on-one with WWE champion AJ Styles in a non-title match. But let me tell you, the Smoothie King Arena erupted. We absolutely lost it. We were so excited. Okay, the segment itself was done very well. First off, Shane McMahon, laying the groundwork on everything, talking about, how it was awesome to fight at WrestleMania, how, seeing what Daniel Bryan did and, what he's done. He never missed a beat, which was awesome, showing a lot of love to Daniel, also announcing that Daniel is now a full-time wrestler, which we all kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. And for him to resign as SmackDown general manager, which was the obvious choice to do. Now to pick Paige, who just one night ago retired from WWE in-ring action, and now she becomes the SmackDown general manager. It's almost a stroke of genius by WWE, and how quickly they were able to get her back on TV. That means she's not leaving anytime soon. She is now going to be with us every week on SmackDown Live every Tuesday night, which means we're going to see her 1 week from tonight at the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence. And I know Derek's excited, Megan Silva's excited, because they love Paige. So to see them, it's going to be an awesome scene, to say the very least. I cannot wait to see that beauty in that ring, as she is now gotten the golden mic. She is now going to be the flag bearer of SmackDown Live. And now, what decisions does she make, especially with the Superstar Shakeup 1 week from tonight? I really hope she hits a home run with this, because from what I've heard, we might get depleted big time. So we'll wait and see what happens. This was awesome. Definitely the segment of, well, one of the segments of the night. There was one that was even bigger, and we're gonna talk about that later in the evening. Anthony Flair, come on in. Paige, SmackDown General Manager. Sounds like a great ring to it.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. I mean, wow. Yes, indeed. Hello, friends. Your ridiculously over good brother, Anthony Floyo, here for this very exciting edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. Just to address an elephant in the room, Michael Bullock will not be joining us this evening because of his usual Tuesday plans. He's usually busy on Tuesdays. He won't be next week, though. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now. He will not be busy next week. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, MF, I mean, wow. This was great. Paige is going to be tremendous in this role. She has a real bond with the fans. And I think soon, maybe later down the road, I suspect and I reckon she's going to be the type of general manager who will eventually make Shane O'Mac regret his hire. And it could make for some very compelling television, if I do say so myself. But that's down the road. Right now, I'm very much fine with her being a babyface general manager who just earnestly tries to create a level playing field and combats the heels effectively. The segment as a whole was great. This, to me, was the second best segment of the night. I do agree with you. There is another segment later in this show that has major implications, if you do know what I mean. And a certain panelist is going to get something out of it later on. But we'll get to that later. But for right now, second best segment of the night. I mean, that crowd was red hot. They popped big for Paige. You knew it was going to happen. You know, we addressed her retirement last night on Ridiculously Raw. It's a shame that you couldn't be with us, MF. I mean, because man alive, I mean, I would have loved to have gotten your thoughts on last night's show. I mean, that was just an amazing show we had last night. How was SmackDown going to top it? Well, great cattle jump here, no doubt about it. With Paige being the new GM and a great choice to replace Daniel Bryan. I mean, we knew eventually Bryan was gonna resign. Now that he's a wrestler again, well deserved, and you know, we all couldn't be happier about that. Especially me being the president of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, and Michael Bullock being the vice president and all that. But and Dee Dee Woodson being our chief of staff, if you will. But nonetheless, I mean, what a great way to start it off. And I hate losing Paige from Raw. I mean, you know, she was a great mouthpiece for Absolution, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, but I think Mandy and Sonya are going to be just fine on their own. No question about it. I mean, Paige taught them well. There's no doubt about it. They're going to be future stars in the making, future Raw Women's Champions, or maybe SmackDown Women's Champions down the road. Because Superstar Shakeup, you never know. Wouldn't it be something if one or both members of Absolution get traded to SmackDown Live and Paige is their general manager? What's that going to be like? Can you imagine if that happens? What would that be like if Mandy and Sonya get traded to SmackDown Live in the shakeup next week, and Paige is no longer going to be their mentor; she's going to be their boss. Oh, I kind of hope that happens. If I'm going to be honest, even though I don't want to lose either one of them from Raw, but wow. So many possibilities. That's all there is to say on that. Great way to start. Second best segment of the night. Dee Dee Woodson, the raven-haired beauty from Norwich, England, is now our new general manager of SmackDown Live. And wow, how about it? So, Dee Dee Woodson, let's get your thoughts. Oh.
I'm kind of excited to see what she can bring to the GM role as the new SmackDown GM. She's definitely the youngest GM that they've had. So, yeah, I think, you know, this is going to be definitely, you know, good in a lot of ways. I mean, for one, she's, you know, a female, so she'll know basically what needs to be done for the female division, but at the same time, you know, she's got the experience, you know, just like Daniel did, of being in the ring. so she'll know what needs to be done there as well. It will definitely be interesting to see how she handles herself in that role. Like tonight, it took a little bit for her to figure out who Daniel's first opponent was going to be, and I think she did a good job tonight. So yeah, it's definitely the second best segment of the night. Although I think I know which one y'all are referring to as the best, and we all know pretty much what my opinions are going to be when it comes down to that one. So, not much more I have to say about it. Take it, Fletch.
We started off the in-ring action with a huge matchup. It was the Usos versus the New Day. The winners of the bout gets an opportunity at the Smackdown Tag Team Championship at the greatest Royal Rumble event coming up on uh on April 27th from Saudi Arabia. And the winners of the bout and the team that will get to fight the Bludgeon Brothers for the Tag Team Championship was the Usos. They win it at 10 minutes and 30 seconds. They earned the SmackDown Tag Team title shot at the greatest Royal Rumble event ever. Anthony Florio, you lead off.
Solid 3 stars. To me, second best fight of the night. The only nitpick I have to really make about this particular bout was it didn't get enough time to be the epic fight that these teams deserve if it turns out to be the final match of this unbelievable rivalry. But they made the most of the time that they had. And, man, I mean, good action throughout, some good near falls. Usos getting the win. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, they are owed a rematch technically because they were the champions going into WrestleMania. So, Usos against the Bludgeons in Saudi Arabia. I got to go with the Bludgeons to go over in that one. I mean, that's going to be an amazing event, that greatest Royal Rumble, April 27th, high noon Eastern time on that. So, I don't know if any of us are going to be able to watch it live, but that's the beauty of the WWE Network. It's on demand. It'll be available on demand immediately after the show ends. So that's something good to know. So, but looking forward to it. I mean, this greatest Royal Rumble card could end up being even better than WrestleMania. That's all I can say on that. So we'll see how it goes. But nonetheless, this was a solid 3-star bout. Second best fight of the night. So nothing more to say except BD Whitson. We got the Usos and the Bludgeons in Saudi Arabia in a couple weeks.
Yep. I agree with the rating. It's definitely 3 stars. Very good match between these guys. But of course, any match between the Usos and New Day ends up being a good match because these guys work so well together and know the ins and outs of each other's moves. And I think they said it best. The announcer said it best today that they have counters upon counters upon counters for each of their moves. So, I'm looking forward to seeing the Usos versus the Bludgeons, and the Bludgeons more likely will probably come away with it. As far as if I'll get to see it live, 50-50 chance of that. I'll know more as it gets closer to that time. So, not much more I'd say about it. Fletch, take it.
Yeah, I agree. This is a 3-star fight. This was really well done. And it's just as another chapter to what undoubtedly was the greatest SmackDown rivalry in the history of SmackDown Live. The tag team division was renaissanced because of the Usos and the New Day and the epic battles that they had. That if either team goes over the Monday Night Raw, it's gonna be an end of an era because I don't think we're ever gonna have anything as special as what this rivalry was, and I hope it doesn't happen. But I've heard a lot of rumors about possibly the Usos being the ones going over to Monday Night Raw, and if that's the case, man, I'm gonna be sad. I dread what I'm gonna hear on Monday night because a lot of the times it's gonna be SmackDown guys, it's gonna be NXT guys. If there wasn't enough, there will be some moves, and at that point, um, it's going to be a devastating blow. How bad is the? How bad is Raw gonna upset the apple cart? As I would say, how bad are they gonna wreck SmackDown Live's roster? I mean, if you remember last year, SmackDown Live took a brutal beating. It went on the Raw end. And then they were able to even it out, but I think we could openly admit it. Raw had the better superstar shakeup exchange, and something tells me it might happen again. So we'll find out. We'll see what happens. I'm dreading it. I'm absolutely dreading who's going where. Um, Especially when it comes to that event. So, nothing more to say. We go into the next fight of the night, which was the winner of the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royale, Naomi. She goes one-on-one with Natalia. When it was all said and done, Naomi gets the victory with a split-legged moonsault at 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So, Dee Woodson, it's all yours, my dear. What did you think about the match?
It was okay for what it was worth. I mean, it wasn't the best that I've seen between these two, but it was fair. I'm gonna go probably 2 stars on it. This kind of all happened from something that happened earlier in the day, which was the little promo they showed beforehand that led to this match. So I'm not gonna say too much more on it. So just take it.
Okay, no problem. You know what? I'm going to say it. This by default, this was the worst fight of the night. And it wasn't really the fault of Naomi or Natalia, but just the brawl of the show and everything that went down. I can't really say anything bad about, what happened here. I kind of had a feeling like it was a good match. It was a solid bout. It's just unfortunately with everything that happened on this show tonight, unfortunately, this was just a I don't fight because it wasn't. It was solid. It was good, but there's too many other good things about this show tonight that I hate to say this. This is unfortunately a by default worst fight of the night. So it is a 2-star rating fight. It was a solid match. And Anthony, I give it to you.
I'm gonna give it 2 to 2.5 for the effort there, MF. It was the third best fight of the night for me. 7.5 minute match, and they are capable of better. I'll be honest. By default, it was the worst fight of the night, even though there was nothing remotely bad about it. I mean, the effort was there. Just that's a little too short for my liking. But hey, the right woman won. You want to keep Naomi going. You want to keep her hot. After winning the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. And who knows? Could this be the last time we feel the glow on SmackDown Live? I'll say it like this: if they traded a Raw, I'll tell you right now, I would be more than happy to welcome Naomi with open arms to Monday Night Raw. Naomi is one of my personal favorites in the women's division. I love her athletic ability. She is the most athletically gifted female superstar in WWE today. And I have been very high on her for the last, I want to say, 3 or 4 years now. And I would go through the moon. I would be over the moon if she ends up on Monday Night Raw. I would love to see her in Raw Red. I really would. I mean, I think she's done all that she could on SmackDown Live. I mean, she's a 2-time women's champion over there. She did a great job over there. And if I'm going to be real honest, I think she should go to Monday Night Raw. I really do. I mean, if you put her on Raw with that stacked roster, who knows? I think down the road she could be a future Raw Women's Champion. I really do. That's how great she is. So I think bigger and better things are coming for Naomi, and you put her on Raw, she's gonna be snatching some gal's ball. That's all I can say on that. She's gonna make us all feel the glow. I'm not a club guy, I'll be honest with you firsthand, but the only exception is we'll bring it to the club on Monday nights. So WWE, please answer my prayer. Bring Naomi to Monday night. I want her on Monday Night Raw. No disrespect to you and SmackDown Live, MF, but I think she's done all that she was able to on SmackDown Live. I don't think there's anything left for her to do on SmackDown Live. Put her on Raw, give her new opportunities, and that's all I can say on that. So bring her to Raw, guys. Bring her to Raw. I want her in Raw Red, one of my personal favorites. Nothing more to say, MF. Let's move on.
All right, and now we're going to get into what was definitely, and it's definitely going to be the most talked about moment of the evening. Started out with Charlotte Flair thanking Asuka, for everything that she did, that the match itself was magical and special for her, and she asked what was going to be, who she was going to make magic with next. Well, just like last night on Monday Night, the call-ups from NXT, unfortunately for SmackDown Live, this was the only call-up of the night, but this one was huge. It was monumental. As a matter of fact, Anthony Florio, iconic.
Iconic, baby. Yes.
Peyton Royce and Billy Kay are on SmackDown Live. They made their debut. The fans chanted NXT, NXT, because that's where they were. And I loved how they were saying, well, it was good. And then Peyton Royce was basically saying, but it wasn't iconic. And the crowd turned. We were on the side of the iconic duo. And why the hell not? Why would you not be a fan of the iconic duo? Hold on. More. So they basically was saying that, out with the old, in with the iconic, and a beatdown commences. A beatdown that went all over the arena floor. Put her through, threw her across the announce table, threw her on the opposite way, threw her into the ring post, threw her into the ring steps. They did a double power bomb right on the floor outside the ring, and then had to carry all that dead weight back into the room, right in the center of the ring. 4 referees run out, and the iconic duo is like, okay, we've done our business, we've done it. You're thinking it's done. Oh no. Carmella runs out. She grabs Mike Chioda. She has the Money in the Bank contract in her hands. She cashes in. The crowd goes ballistic because she was, come on. And even I was yelling at Chioda. She's trying to cash it in. Give it to Craig Ham. Let him make the official announcement. She's cashing in the Money in the Bank. What the hell are you doing? So he finally gives the briefcase. We finally get the official announcement that the cash-in is happening. All that happens next, a face on Charlotte. Carmella goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. The fight is over. History has been made in New Orleans. We have a SmackDown Women's Champion. Carmella has done it. 287 days to cash the Money in the Bank in, and she has become SmackDown Women's Champion. The worst nightmare of Dee Woodson and Michael Bullock, their worst nightmare has become reality. We have a new champion in the SmackDown Women's division. Clearly segment of the night. I think there's nothing more to say about it. It was perfect booking. It was brilliant to have the iconic duo out there. They softened up Charlotte Flair. They gave the opening for the Money in the Bank cash in, which Carmella did. The only gripe was I would not have stalled as long as he did, because at what point is it that a wrestler has to be in a upright prone position in a Money in the Bank cash in? I've never seen it. Never seen it. I think that's a ridiculous rule. I think they should get rid of that rule. If the person is in a beatdown position, and if you get the opportunity, as long as the referee gives that Money in the Bank and the ring announcer makes the official announcement and the bell rings, that's a cash in. I don't give a damn what else it needs to be done. This was a cash in, clear cut, clear as day. She went for it. She got it. She won the belt. It's hers. So, and yes, I know I could probably hear the meowing and the hissing from Callie and Tiger right now, because they're probably just as angry as Mama Dee is right now, knowing that Carmella is now champion. So it is what it is. Anthony Floyo, come on in. I'm leaving this alone. I'm batting down the hatch. And if Dee Woodson decides to kick your tail and take you to the woodshed, then so damn be it, man. Brother on his own island. Be careful.
I know. And Dee Woodson, I mean, I know it's no secret. Her two least favorite female superstars today, clear number one, Alexa Bliss. And right behind is the Princess of Staten Island, Carmella. But we'll get into that in just a moment. I 100% agree with you, MF. This was the segment of the night. First and foremost, MF, our girls are on SmackDown Live. Our two personal favorites from NXT. My personal favorite, Billie Kay. Your personal favorite, Peyton Royce. They are on SmackDown Live. This was long rumored. This was expected. I'm not at all surprised by it. I mean, just amazing. I mean, what a pop that they got. I mean, I call them Lay Cool 2.0, and they can be they could be just as annoying as Michelle and Layla were, way back when. But man alive, though. But oh, what a moment that was. I mean, I only wish we were doing commentary at that moment, MF. We would have had so much fun with that. Believe me, we would have. And of course, Charlotte was talking about her epic win on Sunday night, which I consider now the new greatest upset in WrestleMania history. Ending doing the unthinkable, ending the streak of Asuka. None of us saw that coming, but it happened. And the iconic duo laying waste to Charlotte Flair, and then all of a sudden, out comes Carmella. Third time is the charm. She cashes in Money in the Bank. She finally gets it done. She is the new SmackDown Women's Champion. And I know Dee Woodson, I mean, Tiger and Callie aren't the only ones hissing about this. I mean, I know Dee Woodson deep down is hissing about this right now, because we all know she's not a big fan of Carmella. She can't stand Carmella as much as she can't stand Alexa Bliss. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, oh boy, I mean, I could go into full on Jesse mode and give Dee the business and saying, how do you like Carmella now? I mean, I could do that, honestly. But, hey, whether you love her or you hate her, Carmella is now the SmackDown Women's Champion. I mean, this is a big moment. This was, Matt Ward said it best. Our friend and insider, Matt Ward, just said it best. He said it on his Twitter handle. He says, I'm so glad that, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce are on SmackDown Live, and that Carmella is the SmackDown Women's Champion. Hashtag We Are NXT. I mean, I couldn't agree with that more. I mean, the big surprises that went down on this show tonight all revolved around the women. I mean, Paige, the new general manager, the iconic duo getting called up from NXT, and now on the main roster, and now Carmella cashing in Money in the Bank. The third time was the charm. She's now the new SmackDown Women's Champion, and now that Carmella has done so, that I think that might free up Charlotte Flair. I think Charlotte Flair could end up going back to Monday Night Raw as a result of this. That just might have freed up Charlotte Flair to go back to Raw. Because you remember, I said there was a rumor that Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey could main event WrestleMania 35 next year in the Meadowlands. Can you imagine that? 80,000 plus at MetLife Stadium in the Meadowlands, the home of the Giants and the Jets. Can you imagine those two throwing down in the main event of WrestleMania 35 for the Raw Women's Championship? Sign me up. That's all I want to say. I mean, I would be more than happy to welcome the Queen back to Monday Night Raw. I would love to see it. So, but we'll see. We'll see. You never know. But and who knows what's this going to be for Carmella? I mean, Asuka. Remember Asuka? Asuka could end up being the one that dethrones Carmella. Maybe in Saudi Arabia, maybe even at Backlash on May the 6th at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. So many possibilities coming out of this. I mean, this has superstar shakeup ramifications, no doubt about it. It really does. Because whoever ends up coming from Raw to SmackDown Live, those could end up being instant challengers for Carmella. So Sasha Banks has been rumored to go to SmackDown Live. I know MF would love to have Sasha on SmackDown, and I think Sasha's done all she can on Raw. So I think she could go to SmackDown Live, and I'd be okay with it because Sasha did everything she could do on Monday Night Raw, winning that title 4 times. And although her title reigns were all cup of coffee reigns, you know, it is what it is. So I don't know. So, but this was the segment of the night. My heart hasn't stopped beating since seeing the iconic duo show up, especially Billie Kay. And that's all there is to say on that. I mean, that femme fatale, I mean, she is just stunning. And I am hopeful that we'll get to see them next Tuesday night when we go to SmackDown Live at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. I mean, that is going to be, oh my goodness. I mean, you thought when we went to Raw was exciting with the announcement of the Women's Royal Rumble? Just imagine what it's going to be like with the superstar shakeup next week. So, segment of the night, iconic duos here, new women's champion in Carmella. Edie Woodson, I'm sorry I got to do this to you. You know how much I love and respect you, especially you're my sister in Christ and all that. But how you like Carmella now?
You don't want me to answer that. You don't want me to answer that because I've already told Fletch the same thing. You don't want me to comment on Carmella because it will end up being a major pipe bomb. As far as the dynamic duo that came from NXT, they're welcome. I have no issues with them coming in. I think we needed something. You know, we needed them to come in. We need more females over on SmackDown and to shake it all up because it was getting kind of dull and boring. Just like the ones on Raw have kind of all that combinations kind of gotten dull and boring. So we definitely needed a shake up with the ladies, and we finally are getting it with the call ups. But as far as Carmella, you know, like I told Fletch, the little Screech Owl came out, ran down there, grabbed the referee, went inside, and all she did was screech to the point you couldn't understand a word she was saying. So it is what it is. She's champion. Congratulations on that. Did it the cheap way, just like most other Money in the Bank cash-ins have been. and of course patted herself on the back because she can't win anything without help, just like the other little twit on Raw who just got knocked off her little goddess pedestal that she kept putting herself on. So yeah, and my worst nightmare would be both of them ending up on the same show. So, and for some funny reason, I just have a feeling that Alexa Bliss is going to end up on Smackdown, and then I'll really have a lot to bitch about. So, yeah. I'll go ahead and say it's a segment of the night because of the fact that we had the NXT call-ups, and it was good to see those two show up, and I wasn't surprised that they did, knock down Charlotte the way they did. Not surprised that Carmella cashed in because we all had her cashing in at WrestleMania, and instead she waited till the SmackDown after WrestleMania to cash in. So we all knew she was going to end up with the title anyway. Just not happy about it. So not going to say too much more. Fletch, take it before I really go off.
Dee just made some kind of point that actually, Florio, you might have just squirmed. Alexa Bliss could end up on Monday Night Raw. The goddess could be going back to SmackDown Live where she had her greatest run prior to. And that's a possibility. Could we get a trade-off? Charlotte to Raw, Alexa back to SmackDown? Dude, I would take that in a heartbeat. I will take that any day of the week. Are you kidding me? If we could get Alexa back on SmackDown Live, that'd be huge. I know Floyd was probably grumbling, not going to happen, Fletch, over my dead body. That will not happen. You're not going to get Alexa back. You had her, and now she belongs to us. For the sake of Dee Dee Woodson, it better not happen. Because like she said, she will freak out. Like it will be like Mama will be on a warpath if Alexa winds up on SmackDown Blue, wearing SmackDown Blue again. And yes, even Callie and Tiger will probably join in the pouncing, to say the very least. All right. Anyway, so let's move on. Next thing we had on the show was the number one contenders match for the United States Championship, a triple threat match, as it was Bobby Roode, Randy Orton, and Rusev. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout and the number one contender for the United States Championship, the Viper, Randy Orton, he'll fight Jinder Mahal at Backlash for the U.S. title, much to the chagrin and the anger of everybody in the IWC because they all wanted Rusev to win this fight. I kind of understand it. Sorry, guys, you can't get what you want all the time, but Anthony Floyo, come on in. It's all yours. Randy Orton gets another shot at the U.S. title, but is he going to be a SmackDown guy, or could he be heading to Monday Night Raw?
Well, it's a possibility. I mean, I would be more than happy to have the Viper on Monday Night Raw. Why not? I mean, it would definitely put a damper on the bout, no question about it. But here's the thing. What was the event last year that Jinder Mahal beat Randy Orton for the WWE Championship? Anyone? What was the name of that event? I believe it was called Backlash, wasn't it? And
yes, it was Backlash. Nobody saw that coming. It was the biggest upset of 2017.
And you remember how crazy JBL went after that happened. Oh my goodness! I mean, I still couldn't get over it. But nonetheless, it was a mixed reaction. It was a mixed reaction, as many, of course, everybody wanted Rusev to win. Let's not kid ourselves. But they couldn't get themselves to outright boo Randy Orton. I mean, but it was a solid match here. I'll give this about another 2 to 2.5 for the effort. No joy in Mudville when it comes to the IWC. I mean, they wanted Rusev because we all know how ridiculously over Rusev has gotten over the last several months because of the whole Rusev Day thing. He'll get his time. Don't worry. I think he's going to get his day. No question. But they obviously want to play off the history of last year's event where Randy Orton lost the WWE Championship to Jinder Mahal, and who knows? Maybe they could have Orton. They could give Orton the win back here. You never know. So, well, Orton and Mahal, the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, it's not the most attractive matchup, but we'll see what happens. So that's really all I can say on this. So I'm going to give this about 2 to 2.5 for the effort. So nothing more to say here. Didi Woodson, Randy Orton gets another opportunity at the United States Heavyweight Championship. 1 year later, at the same event, he lost the WWE Championship to Jinder Mahal. Interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and I'm excited to see what will happen. I am a little surprised that Randy pulled it off tonight. I think all of us were expecting Rusev to win, but it is what it is. So now we have Jinder versus Randy Orton Backlash, and Jinder's another one of these guys that he can't win without help. So more likely, you'll have the single Singh brother out there helping him pull it off. So we'll see what happens when it comes time for Backlash. So I agree with the rating. Not much more I have to say about it. Fletch, take it.
Yeah, same thing. Nothing really more to say. Randy Orton wins, which, obviously makes me a very happy man, being the big Orton mark that I am. And now he gets an opportunity to regain the United States Championship, the title that he lost at WrestleMania to Jinder Mahal. And, we'll see what happens there. So now there's really nothing more to say. It's the main event. It's the dream fight. AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. The fight ends in an apparent no contest because Shinsuke Nakamura showed up and basically went in roughhouse. Basically hit the ring, Kinshasa Daniel Bryan up in the head. That called for the bell. Then he attacks AJ Styles. Hits him with the Kinshasa, low blows him again a la WrestleMania. And, oh man, a really good match. Disappointing ending. Didi Woodson, it's all yours.
We had a DQ or a no contest yesterday, and I didn't rate it, and I'm not going to rate this one because I don't like these kind of matches. The match was going great, and then all of a sudden you ruin it. Yeah, that happened. It would have been fine if they would have waited to maybe after the match, sent him out there. Then I would have given you a rating. But since he came out during the match, no, it's not worth a rating. I feel sorry for Daniel Bryan. Return match on Smackdown, and it's shot to hell because Shinsuke comes out for his grudge against AJ Styles. Sorry, no, not gonna fall for it. So, very good match, very cheap ending. Not the best way to end SmackDown, but it is what it is. So just take it.
All right. I agree with Didi. I'm gonna give it the NA as well because it was a disappointing ending. However, if you want to get over Shinsuke Nakamura as a heel, this was the perfect thing to do. Absolutely brilliant move by WWE to garner the heat on Nakamura. First, by basically doing this half-ass apology that he did earlier at earlier in the night with Renee Young, that he wasn't really that sorry for what he did to AJ Styles at WrestleMania, but now he actually ruined this fight that everybody was so excited for, AJ versus Daniel Bryan, to Kinshasa, Bryan, and AJ, both in a matter of minutes. That was gonna garner monster heat, especially from the IWC, because you just took out two of their favorites. Daniel Bryan is mega over. We've seen it. The Yes movement is definitely alive and well. And AJ, being the WWE champion, he still gets a lot of the rub, because he is the phenomenal AJ Styles. This was a dream fight, a big main event. And for Nakamura to ruin it and to do what he did, perfect way to solidify him as a heel. So far in the last couple of nights, Nakamura's star has risen as a heel, and I have to admit, it is amazing. I like it. I'm very into it now. I didn't know what to expect after WrestleMania, but now that I've seen it and what they're trying to turn him into, I love the direction that they're going in right now with Shinsuke Nakamura. I really believe this could be the best thing they can ever do with Nakamura. I really believe this has a really great chance of being one of the best heel turns in WWE. And sometimes you need a little oomph, you need a little push, something to get it. I think they're getting it. They're hitting the right mark. They're hitting the right niche. And he's going after the right people to garner the heat. And he's doing it really well. Nothing bad to say. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Despite the NA finish, this was the fight of the night. I would have given it 3 to 3.25 if I was rating it. But I will agree it is an NA because, the match got thrown out. No contest. And MF, you hit everything to a T here. What better way to continue Shinsuke's heel turn and to capitalize and follow up on Shinsuke's heel turn than having him interrupt AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan and beating them both up and leaving them both lame? Wow. I mean, he's on his way. I mean, it was easy to see coming. I mean, but it was still very smart and effective booking. Nakamura just took out the two most popular guys on SmackDown Live with his finisher and interrupted the fantasy bout. The same crowd that was laughing at Nakamura earlier in that backstage segment was booing him at the end, which speaks to the success of the angle. So that was very well done. No question about it. Excellent follow-up to the most shocking heel turn probably since, in WWE terms, since Stone Cold 17 years prior at WrestleMania 17. But, I mean, unbelievable to say the very least. And it's a damn shame that match didn't go on longer. I mean, there was a part of me that was thinking Daniel Bryan might have won that thing, and maybe Daniel Bryan would have been next in line. I would have loved to have seen him and AJ for the WWE Championship at Backlash. I mean, that would have been unbelievable. And then who knows, maybe put Bryan over and have Bryan win the title and complete the greatest comeback story we've seen probably since Goldberg. It would be an even bigger comeback than Goldberg. Let's not kid ourselves. So, but, we'll probably address that next week. Oh, we'll address that next week right here when we get to see it up close and personal next week. And boy, howdy, even though I'm a Raw guy, I cannot wait to see it. So it's gonna be a great night. I'm very much looking forward to it. So nothing more to say here, MF, except let's get into our overall review here.
Okay, now I get it. It wasn't biggest shocker or anything about, because Monday Night Raw had Debut after debut after debut, return after return. So many big things that came out of it. I get it. It wasn't going to be anything close to that. But SmackDown Live really did a real good job tonight. Nothing bad whatsoever on the show. We had a new GM, a new champion that was crowned. We finally got the iconic duo in that aspect. You're going to get a high rating out of me for that. And, and practically almost every fight was solid. 3 to 3 and a quarter. I think, no, you had between 2 to 3 the whole night. So, yeah, you had one NA, which was the main event, but it was because of an interference run. But other than that, 8 out of 10. I could go 8.5. 8 to 8.5 out of 10. I did not see nothing bad from SmackDown Live. Even though it wasn't, it wasn't as bomb. There wasn't like one bomb after another on Raw. But man, there was a lot of good stuff that they did. At the very beginning, Paige being named the new general manager of Raw, great. To the, like I said, the reacquisition or the debut of the iconic duo to the crowning of a new SmackDown Women's Champion. It was that whole thing tonight was ladies' night. The show was revolved around the women, and they took the lap on this one, and they deserve all the love, all the admiration. This was a great show, SmackDown Live, and God, now I just want to know, what is SmackDown gonna do 1 week from tonight and on their side of the superstar shakeup, because they could do some damage. I hope they do. I hope they bring some real good talent over on our brand, because we're kind of right now. Definitely, this is coming at a right time. I just hope we get some really good talent that's gonna give a shot in the arm to SmackDown Live, and maybe give us a major boost down the line. So we'll see what happens. So 8 to 8.5 out of 10. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, 8 to 8.5. The only downside is it didn't have the shock and awe of last night's newsworthy Raw moments, but this was still a very good and newsworthy show. With Paige being named the new general manager, the iconic duo being called up to the women's division, Carmella cashing in Money in the Bank and winning the SmackDown Women's Championship, and a notable fantasy dream main event with AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan. I mean, another hot crowd in New Orleans. I mean, New Orleans, you tore it up from the Hall of Fame to take over New Orleans, which I said was a perfect 10 out of 10, bookended with 5-star classics beginning and end. And then, of course, Mania, which some people enjoyed, others did not. And then Monday Night Raw, which was unbelievable with all the surprises we had on our end. Getting Ember Moon and No Way Jose, and the returns of Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe, and just to name a few of the big moments that went down last night on Raw. And then SmackDown Live follows it up. It's going to be very interesting to see the dynamic between Shane O'Mac and Paige in the authority office, in the commissioner and GM office. That ought to be very interesting. And the women's division now with Carmella as running the show in that, with the iconic duo coming in, and of course the WWE Championship picture. I mean, it's very clear that Shinsuke wants another shot, and I think we're going to get Styles Nakamura 2 at Backlash. And but who knows? Maybe Daniel Bryan finds his way into that. I don't know. I would love to see a triple threat between those three. Give me AJ, Bryan, and Nakamura. Can you imagine if we get those three in a triple threat at Backlash for the WWE title? Oh my! It could go down as maybe the greatest triple threat match in history. You put AJ, Nakamura, and Bryan in that. Think about it. We all agree the greatest triple threat match of all time was Triple H, HBK, and Chris Benoit, WrestleMania 20 and Backlash 2004. Although WrestleMania 20 was better. And the second greatest main event in Mania history, only behind Stone Cold and The Rock at 17. But nonetheless, my gut is telling me we're going to see a triple threat with AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, and Shinsuke Nakamura. And if that happens, batten down the hatches. That's all I can say. So I agree. Solid 8 to 8.5 out of 10, even though it didn't really have the shock and awe that Monday Night Raw had last night. But I say both. I say this week came out as a draw, but I think Raw gets the slight advantage because they had more call-ups and more surprises. Although SmackDown Live had their share of surprises, but it all revolved around the women. I mean, we didn't get any male call-ups. I mean, where was Sanity? And more importantly, where was Andrade Cien Almas? I thought for sure they would have been there, but on nitpick aside, it's a solid. I think it's more like an 8 out of 10 for me. I think 8.5 is a little steep, but I think 8 is good enough. So nothing more to say here. Didi Woodson, your thoughts on this post WrestleMania 34 edition of SmackDown Live?
Well, I'd say SmackDown did have the advantage of the fact that they actually had matches that were rated higher than Raw. Raw, I think most of the matches didn't go much higher than 2 stars, where SmackDown, we actually hit, some 3-star matches. The matches definitely were a lot better. Not as many segments as what Raw had. Raw had a lot of segments, and that's where most of the ratings came from for Raw, which made it the newsworthy show. Both shows very newsworthy though. Yeah, SmackDown had all the draw around the women. Raw had all the draw mainly around the men, except for Amber Moon coming up. Still 2 very good shows. Both of them definitely rank in the 8-star rating. So yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about SmackDown. Even though I did not like the one segment, that's just because I don't like the person who actually won the title. But the segment was still very good, even though I don't like the situation. But you know, keeping my personal opinions out of it, it was still a very good segment, still a very good show, and you know, as far as who won this week, I'm still going with the draw because they both came out with surprises. They both came out with even though SmackDown didn't have really any returns, you had a lot of new and very newsworthy information come out of it. And even new storylines already starting to build. It's going to be very interesting to see what comes out of what happened on the main event. And, and here we're continuing the storyline with Jinder and now Orton having round 2 with them. So yeah, it's going to be good to see what happens the next few weeks as we go into the next 2 big major pay-per-view type events that we have. The greatest Rumble and then Backlash. So don't have much more to say about it. So I will see you all next week. Good night.
All right, good night, Dee Dee. And we're going to go very quickly into Mikey's mindset. Super Card of Honor went down on WrestleMania weekend on April 7th, and this is how the card went down. Chucky T went up against Jonathan Gresham. Chucky T got the victory there. Punisher Martinez versus Tatsumihiro Ashihi from New Japan. Punisher Martinez wins his match. Then we had Kota Ibushi going one-on-one with Hangman Page. Kota Ibushi won his match. Then we had Sumi Sakai versus Kelly Klein. This was in the final match to determine the first ever Ring of Honor Women of Honor champion. And when it was all said and done, Sumi Sakai has won the title. She beats Kelly Klein to win and become the first ever Ring of Honor women's champion or Women of Honor champion. Congratulations, Sumi. And then we had a 6-man ladder match for the 6-man tag team championship, as it was Flip Gordon and the Young Bucks versus SoCal Uncensored, Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, and Scorpio Sky. When it was all said and done, the champions remained the champions. SoCal Uncensored wins the match. Then we had a one-on-one match, which was the Briscoes versus Jay Lethal and Hiroshi Tanahashi for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship. The Briscoes wins the match and keeps the titles. Then we had, in a last man standing, Kenny King versus Silas Young. Silas Young wins the Ring of Honor World Television title. Then in the co-main event, what was undoubtedly, or what was hyped as one of the biggest fights in Ring of Honor history, the implosion of the Bullet Club happened as the American Nightmare Cody went up against Kenny Omega. Cody Rhodes wins the match. Unfortunately, it was not the 5-star classic as everybody predicted it was going to be. As a matter of fact, I can only give this about 3 stars. It was actually rather disappointing. The fight was a little boring, longer than what we were thinking it was going to be, even though they got 37 minutes and 15 seconds, but the quality of the match was horrible. Sorry to say, guys. And then in the main event, Dalton Castle puts the Ring of Honor World title on the line against Marty Scurll, and Dalton Castle walks away with the belt, still the Ring of Honor World Champion, and the crowd goes mild. Sorry to say. All right. This Saturday night at the Chop Shop in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, is RWA April Rain. We got a lot of matches to go. So here it is. Justin Sylvia goes one-on-one with Middlesex Express member Stephen Lust. Then we have a fatal 4-way. The winner of this fight becomes number 1 contender for the RWA Hype Championship. It'll be Davey Cash, Mike Montero, Todd Harris, and Vincier. I'm sorry, I can't even pronounce that last name. I don't even see it. Then we have a tag team fight to go down, as it's going to be Shay Cash, Mike Grassa. Actually, this is a 4-way elimination match. I'm sorry. As the winner of the fight gets a main event spot at Legacy, as it will be as one of these men will get to, I guess, to face with the Triple Crown champion at Legacy. Of course, Legacy now a 2-day event. Sean Leiter, David Baker, Shay Cash, and Mike Grassa gets it. Then we have a tag team fight, the Underground Death Machines versus the team of Ricky Medeiros and Jason Devine. We also have Dan Terry going one-on-one with strongman Theodore J. Liffington. That's going to be a very good match. Can't wait to see that. Then AJ Phoenix to go one-on-one with Cipriano Abruzzi. And in the main event, for the RWA Triple Crown Championship. The champion, Chris Cruz, puts the title on the line against former champion Nick Marchand. Uh, as always, the event starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time from the Chop Shop in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. You can get the tickets right now at squareup.com, the official home of RWA. All right, guys, so that's it for this evening. Anthony Floyo, come on in. Give us what the rundown for Strictly Sports.
Strictly Sports, Friday night at 10:30 on the Tone 25 here on YouTube.com. And Derek Ferreira released the docket about an hour ago. And it is as follows. Brandon Cooks traded to the Los Angeles Rams. Robert Griffin III signing with the Baltimore Ravens. So there's your NFL hot stove, your weekly NFL hot stove stuff. Kyrie Irving done for the season and the NBA playoffs. Major implications for the Celtics, no doubt about it. Villanova winning the national championship, winning the NCAA tournament in grand style with maybe the most dominant tournament run maybe we've ever seen. There will be a Hard Times outrage segment. Conor McGregor arrested, and Michael Bullock, I know, is prepared to go on a profanity-laced tirade. So I'm probably gonna have to put the age restriction on this one because of that. And in our double main event, we are going to preview the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So MF, I want to put this out to you. I want to hopefully, I'm hoping we can get the other stories done as quickly as we can, because you know me, when it comes to the Stanley Cup playoffs, I got to get into full Melrose mode for this. So I really am hoping that we can, get the other stories done quickly, and so we can focus on the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I can do my Barry Melrose, Bill Clement, Doc Eddie Olczyk there, and you can do your Gary Thorne and Doc Emmerich like you always do. And in the other half of the double main event, the NBA power rankings. But of course, when it comes to the Stanley Cup playoffs, first round matchups: Tampa Bay Lightning against the New Jersey Devils. We got the Boston Bruins against the Toronto Maple Leafs, the series that MF and I wanted. And then from there, we're gonna have the Washington Capitals against the Columbus Blue Jackets, and a playoff rivalry renewed, the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Philadelphia Flyers. That's in the East. Over in the West, Nashville Predators, Colorado Avalanche, Winnipeg Jets, Minnesota Wild, Vegas Golden Knights against the Los Angeles Kings. Oh my goodness, that's going to be something special. And then closing that out will be the Anaheim Ducks and the San Jose Sharks. We'll get into all of that Friday night on Strictly Sports. So there's your docket. Brandon Cooks traded to the Rams. RG3, Robert Griffin III, signing with the Baltimore Ravens. Kyrie Irving done for the year. Villanova national champions. Conor McGregor arrested. What else is new? The complete Stanley Cup playoff preview. That's what I want to hopefully build the show around, because that's where I'm going to go into Melrose mode. And then from there, the NBA, our final NBA power rankings, and then I'm sure it's going to be MLB the rest of the way until the summer and until football comes back. So 10:30 Friday night, be there or be square. MF, put a bow on it.
All right, guys, and that is it for tonight. So, as always, thank you, Anthony Floyo. Thank you, Dee Woodson, as always. And we guys will see you on Friday night for Strictly Sports on the Tone 25. And as always, like the video, leave a comment at the bottom. What did you like about the show tonight? And send it to all your friends on all social media platforms. As always, have a good night, everybody, and so long for now.